So I'm an idiot. I recorded this whole video and then realized that my microphone was off. So I'm back re-recording the video. So if I speed through things or don't seem enthusiastic, that's why, because I just don't want to do this again. But it's fine. We persevere, right? Okay. So this video is chapter 21 through 30. And I did 10 chapters this time because, like I said, I'm tired of this. So after this, there will be 3 more videos, I think. Probably, yeah. And hopefully they are in quick succession to this one because I just can't keep doing this. So yeah. Anyways, so first chapter is basically kind of picking up where we left off last time, but this time Dorian's point of view. So it's just like Dorian's point of view of Adelaide kissing that guy and then of them like dancing and stuff. So that's awesome. Okay, then next chapter, back to Adelaide. She is trying to find Mia and Sabrina at the party, but runs into James instead, and so they go sit down. And then Dorian comes over and sits by Adelaide. Okay, so sorry, I'm blanking. So Dorian comes over and sits by Adelaide, and then Adelaide tries to leave, but both of the boys stop her. Oh my gosh, the tension. So then she sits back down and starts texting Mia, and they're kind of like chatting about Adelaide interning for James's mom at that fashion company or whatever. I don't remember what it's called. Then Mia says that Adelaide should like ask her aunt for help because Adelaide's aunt used to work in the fashion industry, so she could be helpful. But Adelaide doesn't want to because her and her aunt don't have a great relationship, so she just doesn't want to talk to her. Okay, next chapter. We are in the bookstore and the old ladies are looking at like a magazine of Victoria and Dorian. And they're like telling Adelaide that she should just like go for it. Like she should just go and ask him out or something. And she doesn't want to, obviously, because why would she want to do that? Then, a little time jump, Adelaide is in the library and she's eavesdropping on these 2 girls talking about Dorian. Then she thinks someone is like coming over to her, so she hides in this empty study room. And then someone opens the door to the study room and it's Dorian. So Adelaide pulls him in and they're talking about Adelaide eavesdropping. And then the girls like are still talking and they're saying that Dorian was dancing with some girl at the party and they were looking awfully close on the dance floor. So then Adelaide starts being dramatic because people saw them, which obviously people saw you, you were in the middle of the dance floor, but it's fine. Then Dorian is sad because Adelaide doesn't like him, so he leaves. Next chapter, Adelaide is in the bookstore reading an article about Dorian now being single. Then she goes to a cafe because she needs to get some stuff done. And she sees people reading the same article. But then she goes and sits down so that she can work on applying for internships. And then James shows up and sits by her. And they talk about school and fashion and how Dorian is like avoiding both of them. So they're like, what's going on with Dorian, you know? He should not be doing this. This is my dog Roxy, by the way. Yeah. And so they're talking about that, and then Adelaide says she's having trouble with one of her assignments where she has to like take pictures of someone modeling, and she's having trouble finding someone to model. So James is like, well, you can just come to like one of my events and take pictures of me, and Adelaide agrees as long as Dorian will not be there because she does not want to see him. Then, next chapter, Adelaide does end up mailing something to her aunt, whose name is Layla. And then she goes to that event James is talking about and takes pictures of him. And James is like trying to flirt with her, and she's like not flirting back, obviously, because she doesn't really like James that way. Then mid photo taking, James asks her on a date. Ugh, yuck. And she says no. And it's really awkward. But then Dorian calls James and says he needs some help in his room because he's also at the event, just not where they are. So Adelaide has to go help Dorian sew something or something, I don't really know. So she goes there and helps him button his shirt and then sews on a jacket button for him. And they talk about the letter that she sent to her aunt a little bit, and then Dorian asks her out. Like, 2 dates in one day? Woo! She is booked. And Adelaide does say yes to him, but just that he can come to her birthday dinner on Saturday, and that they're meeting at the bookstore, so he needs to be there. Then Dorian goes to his little art studio thing, and he's talking to the girl that owns it. I don't remember her name. But then he calls his sister, Jasmine is her name, and they talk about Adelaide and how Dorian got her like a little gift. And Jasmine says to also get her some flowers, so Dorian does that, of course. Then Adelaide is at the bookstore before her birthday dinner extravaganza, and she's like doing scrapbooking or something on her computer. I'm not entirely sure. And then Dorian gets there, and they're kind of just like staring at each other from across the bookstore, so that's just really cute. Then they go to dinner with those old ladies, and the old ladies are like, Dorian, like, ask her to dance. You guys should go dance at the restaurant. So Dorian gets up and invites Adelaide to dance. So they go dance, and they're talking about like their backstories and stuff. Blah blah blah. Backstory is basically what that whole chapter is, and I didn't write that down. Sorry. So then Dorian calls Adelaide beautiful, and Adelaide's like, "Whoa, that is some strong language." So she's kind of scared now. But then they go to leave, and like, of course they open the door and it's raining because it's always raining in this book for some reason. So Dorian gets an umbrella and they start walking home because they can never call a car or anything. Like, I know Dorian has at least 3 cars, so why can't he just drive one for once? Why are they always walking in the rain? I would be sick and tired of walking in the rain. So they walk home and they're there, and Adelaide is like looking at him, and she's kind of thinking of kissing him, but then decides she probably shouldn't. But then she runs inside, up to her balcony and goes out onto her balcony and looks down at at Dorian, and Dorian is still there, and he looks up at her, and they're just looking at each other. And then Dorian throws her something. It's the gift he got her, and it's a little keychain that's a telephone booth. And you may be thinking, telephone booth? Where have I seen a telephone booth before? Right here you've seen the telephone booth. It's this one. It's gray, or blue, sorry, with the little vines. Exact description from the book. Just like that. Blue with vines. Telephone booth. So, that's what he got her for her little purse or whatever. I don't really know. Then she's like, OMG, wow. So she runs downstairs to go see him and gives him a little hug. And then she gives him a keychain, a Red Sox hat keychain. I don't really know where she got that from, but she gives him that. Then she gives him a little kiss, yuck, and goes back inside. And she goes into the living room, and Sabrina is laying on the couch in the living room. But luckily, she did not hear a thing. So Adelaide's feeling a little guilty because she's like low-key taking her friend's man, even though Sabrina has never spoken to Dorian once in her life. But it's fine. Let a girl live. Then Sabrina is talking about like her dream life, and she just thinks that Dorian would be the perfect man for her life. So Adelaide's like, yeah. and then leaves the room because obviously, like, Dorian's the perfect man for Adelaide's life, not Sabrina's. So I just know something is gonna go down soon. We are this far into the book and Sabrina has not found out. I don't know how, but I also don't know why she's so obsessed with him. Like, I fear it's really not that deep because she's like crying over him and it's just not serious. It's never that serious, really. She just needs to give it up. But yeah, I hope like some drama happens because that sounds fun, and I hope they like beat each other up or something. Sorry, that was a joke. But yeah, 3 more videos after this, and they will be one right after another. I promise. A new video will be presented 2 days. Yeah, 2 days after this one, okay? I promise. I promise. Right, okay. Goodbye.